Live.
Welcome back to Modern Mommies here on soulgarden.tv. I am Alexis Ann Moore, the creator of the Superhero Children Project, mother of a beautiful 3-year-old son, and a passionate, opinionated mommy. With me, I've got my co-host, Jennifer Perry, who is a mother of 3 beautiful children and is also, she's been working in the public school system for 17 years and is currently a school counselor for elementary school. Hi, Jennifer. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's so good to be here with you again, as always. And with us, we've got Nikki Young, who is a distributor of the Young Living essential oils, here to talk with us today about essential oil use and how to use them safely and effectively for your children. I know personally essential oils are amazing, but I haven't exactly dipped into that world with my son yet, so I'm really particularly excited about this show today. So, hi, Nikki, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Nikki. It's good to have you with us today. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Okay, before we get into our main topics, we're also going to be talking about mommy tricks for how to get some sanity on a road trip, how to make your own road trip items for your kids to be entertained and silent. That's really kind of part mommy the mommy too, because we're trying to take care of the moms here. Silence in the car is like heaven. And we've got our Hot Daddy of the Week coming up, so stick around for that also. Before we get into our main topics, though, we are going to discuss some pretty rotten stuff that's going on, and talk about it, and see about maybe ways to correct this problem as a society. So, Jennifer, you want to tell us a little bit about what we're going to be talking about here and what's going on?
Absolutely. Okay, I ran across an article that was talking about how our kids are dying and they're killing each other over Michael Jordan shoes. You know, the shoes, they've been around since like the 80s, made by Nike.
Been hearing about this since I was a kid.
Yes, they're big shoes. It's a huge, I think Michael Jordan has made millions and millions of dollars off of them, I'm sure. But what's happening is, it started back in the 80s where this kiddo bought some Michael Jordan shoes. At the time, I think they were $118, and he wore them to school. His grandmother said, don't wear them to school, somebody's going to want those shoes, but he did it anyway. And he was found later strangled in the bathroom by the shoelaces of the shoes, and somebody had done that for his shoes.
Wow.
And so as time has been going on, that's not the first instance. There was like a man in New Jersey who was stabbed when there was a brawl, a fight that broke out while they were waiting and trying to get the Michael Jordan shoes. There was a mother who was arrested for leaving her 2 young kids in the car while she ran into the mall real fast to get the shoes.
Wow.
And so there's case after case after case where these children are being killed because people are wanting these shoes. And so I started digging a little bit more because I was like, why? What's the big deal about these shoes? Why would you kill somebody over it? And what I really found out is right now they cost about $180 to $200 and something. And a lot of our kids, first of all, can't afford those shoes, so they're going and hurting each other to steal them. But then the other part of it is more of the marketing and the way that they're putting them out there. Like they only sell the shoes one time a year, and there's only a limited amount of them that are made. And so when you set it up that way, and you kind of elicit that frenzy in it, it just further plays in to the whole situations of our kids being hurt. And so, of course, Nike and Michael Jordan aren't oblivious to this. They watch the news too. And I think that's really kind of my main beef with this, because really I think at some point they kind of hold a certain responsibility to our kids and to the public, at least morally, to stand up and say something, to do something to maybe discourage this behavior. But neither one of them are really saying anything. Like Nike said that we would like for you to get these shoes in the most safe way. But Michael Jordan is really saying nothing. Oh, go ahead.
I did see that article about how he had said that it's not his problem, and I later heard that might not have been a direct quote. And as I was reading it, I was like, this is hearsay, you know. Someone saying they heard him say that in a conversation. But the truth is, if he is knowing, and also in that same article, I read some outrageous number for the death count of how many children have actually died over the shoes. But I didn't write it down, and I can't seem to find it right now. Do you remember what that number is?
I think it was like 10,000.
That's what I'm remembering. 10,000
yeah.
kids. And I just read another article about a boy that was found hanging on a swing set, and the police are ruling it a suicide, but the mom is pleading with them, saying he had just put on his new Jordans and went for a run, and when they found him hanging, he was wearing shoes that were a size and a half too small, and there's no way he would have walked in too small of shoes just to go hang himself. So this is something that's happening a lot and possibly not even being accounted for in those numbers of 10,000 children.
Right. Well, and I don't think, after I looked more into it, I think that number might have been a little exaggerated.
It possibly might be, but this is something that we all kind of already knew about. And if I know about it, and I don't watch Jordan's commercials, and I don't know anything about this stuff, if I know that kids are killing kids over it for many, many years, then there's obviously a lot of them. So if they've already made excuse my French, but a shit ton of money on these, then it seems like they are somewhat celebrating the fact. And by only releasing them once a year and people beating each other over them like it's Black Friday, which you already know how I feel about that. That's like saying, I mean, they're benefiting from it. They're not trying to make it better. They're purposely feeding off of that disgusting frenzy. And what really strikes me as, like, on a society level is that, for one thing, these kids are so about their image that they will kill or be killed. They will wear shoes that might get them killed just to look better than everybody else, and to put the value on the shoes more than a life. Like, what?
Yeah, and I read a lot of blogs where people were kind of addressing that. Then this one guy, I thought it was kind of brilliant, attributed it to the marketing and how the people who are doing marketing know that everybody has these basic needs. They want to have a sense of belonging and all of these things, and they're targeting their marketing to fulfill those needs. So they're saying things like, you're not really anything unless you have these shoes. You have to have these shoes to matter and to be important. And our kids are falling for it, and they're really listening to it, and it's kind of starting to get ingrained to them that obviously they'll start killing each other for them. And that's so messed up. If nothing else, I think that Nike should pull back on the advertising or look at another way that they could still sell the shoes where they're not, causing this pandemonium and all of this.
You know what? They're not, because they are not... the whole a corporation is a person thing, it is not a controlled truth. They are a narcissistic person. They don't give a crap. They just are consuming other people, basically. And it's not going to change until we do. We have to teach our children that that's crap, that's not who you are, that how people feel when they're around you is your value, basically. Not your shoes that you're wearing, not even what other people think of you. Honestly, how you feel about yourself is your value. That's your value. And if you don't feel like you're good enough because you don't have the right shoes, then you need to give yourself a big hug. I've been teaching my son. I've been lucky enough to, I had my kid when I was older and already had my incredible opinions built up by then. And so I've been teaching him since he was real little that commercials, not to watch them, that they're tricking you. But for parents out there with older kids that want to help them understand that the marketing system is slated against them and is purposely set up to devour them. There's a really great video on YouTube called "The Story of Stuff." I will post it on the Facebook Modern Mommies group page. The Story of Stuff is a brilliant short documentary this woman put together to explain to kids the entire process, from manufacturing to marketing to making us feel like crap about ourselves because we're wearing chunky heels and skinny heel season, so that person's not as good because they haven't contributed to the consumer model this season, so let's shun them. Like the whole cycle all the way to trash and how it eats up the environment and everything. It's like after my students watch that video, they go grocery shopping and it's a whole new world. When they see the sparkly boxes, they're like, wait a second, I don't need that crap. So try that, The Story of Stuff. Nikki, you've been silent. We've been going. I'm very opinionated, like I said, but what do you think about this whole thing? Have you heard about it before?
I've heard a little bit about it. Not really a lot. I don't watch the news that often because it's just full of really sad, it's kind of depressing. But I just, honestly, as a parent, would be scared to buy my kids any kind of shoe that they would be killed over,
So then the parents, that's an interesting point of view. So then the parents are also buying into this model of being able to show off that they were able to buy the Jordans and that they're,
Yeah, they give in to their kids, need to be better than or, have the best thing out there. And, a lot of kids, they do think that they have to have what is new and what's in. And like with my daughter, of course she feels that way sometimes, but we try really hard to make sure she knows that that's not what's important. But yeah, I would never buy her anything that I felt like she could get killed over. And why would somebody kill somebody over something as simple as shoes? Just, if you're going to take them, take them. But why would you?
Exactly.
What's the point of killing them? Or
is it that the person, some of the stories I read is that the one boy that did die told his grandmother, I think this was the story you were talking about, Jennifer, that oh, if they're don't worry, no one's going to take my shoes, they'll have to kill me for it or something, so it's like, are you actually going to fight somebody to not take these stupid pieces of rubber off your feet?
Yeah, I mean, it's a couple $100,
Yeah, but I'm not going to die for it.
Exactly.
A lot of the stories where they were killing each other were in areas where there was a higher cycle of poverty. And when you just look at basic poverty, part of the area that's really, really important to them is materialistic things. And so to them, they would literally die to protect their Jordans or to protect those things. That's just part of being disrespected or not being respected. And that's, just like everybody, everybody has what's important to them in that area. Those materialistic things are a way to show society that they matter in their mind.
Okay, so let's be real here. Racism and stuff is such a weird topic, especially for white blonde chicks.
Well, and it's not like racism is it's not even about race, like the color of your skin.
Let me finish though.
Okay.
Because this is about race. When you're saying that these lower income areas, you're talking about lower income black communities, African American communities. Please don't be offended by what I'm saying. People rarely can talk openly about these things, so I'm doing it because we should be able to do this. So basically, in this community, it's being drilled into their head via marketing. Now, I want to take a moment to say, marketing in this country is like a science phenomenon. They are brilliant, mad scientists about it. It started in the late 40s with, Truman was president. Dr. Freud, the psychologist, Freud, his nephew was hired by Truman to and the government to teach them about marketing through mind control and population control through consumerism. So he was friends with the De Beer, I can never say it right, family, who had a ton of diamonds that were worth nothing. And he said, "Watch this." And he had the best, most loved actresses wear diamond rings in the movies and say, "Look, it means he loves me. He spent whatever amount on this diamond ring for my engagement ring." And before, it wasn't about diamond rings and 2 months' salary. But they drilled that in us to where within 10 years, it was just like, of course we spend this much money on a diamond ring. And it's gotten worse and worse and worse. And that was the very first intro. That was him showing, look what I can do. I can make these people incredibly wealthy by making this up out of thin air just by putting it in the movies. And then he boosted Truman's support ratings by inviting those actors and actresses over to dinner. To the White House for dinner, and that was the start. That was in the late 40s. Imagine now. Imagine how good they are at it. So if the low income Black communities are being marketed to in a way that feeds off of that feeling of not having enough, and telling these children that you're not good enough because you don't have money, to the point where, like, that's all they're seeing in the things that are marketed towards them for these Jordans. Like, that is a serious intent. The Nike, right? They're doing it on purpose. Okay, like, they're purposely telling these children that don't have money that they need this, so that they'll save up all their money to buy this, or else it wouldn't be worth anything. You know, like, these shoes aren't worth anything without them telling the kids that they're not worth anything without having them. Like, it's a whole screwed up scientific thing that they're doing to these children. Whereas you could be teaching these children, your value is in how much you do to build up your community. Let's make this a better community. Let's quit fighting each other, and let's quit feeling like crap about ourselves because we're not driving the nicest car. You know, who cares? Let's actually be something and feel good about ourselves. Okay, that's my tangent. That's what. Go off on that one. Wow.
Okay, but I have to go back and clarify.
Okay.
When I talk about socioeconomic status, people in poverty or places of poverty, it isn't that mindset and that way of operating applies to people in poverty who are white, Black, Asian, Hispanic, purple, green. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Nike just happened to have paired up with Michael Jordan, who is an African-American superstar, and use that to go after, that community, really.
Yeah, because I've never heard a story. I mean, I'm sure there are stories out there, but I've never heard a story about a Hispanic kid getting killed for his Jordans.
Oh, yeah, no. I could probably find you some.
Yeah?
Yeah, let me pull the names. We probably could find some. Depending on, I think part of it, though, is that Michael Jordan sells that dream that, you can do anything. He's that idol. And so I think that's kind of, why we see maybe more in that community.
So he's pretending to be empowering children. You see what I'm saying? Like the psychological hooks, like, they're so good at it. Like, this is something that was developed by our government. Okay, this marketing strategy was developed by our government in the late 40s, who is also whatever. Okay, that's what I feel about that.
Yeah, but they're doing it on purpose. Or he would be getting up there saying, "Children, buy these shoes, but you really shouldn't be killing each other over it." And he's not going out there that. It's really, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, you'd think he'd say something to his fans and say, "Listen, this is wrong, and I don't agree with it, and please stop." Something, because he is. A lot of kids look up to him. Maybe they listen.
And if he's going to make billions off of them, the least he could do would be stand up and say something, to protect them.
It's disgusting.
It is.
Well, Yeah. So, like I said before, the YouTube video that I find incredibly helpful, my students in the Superhero Children Project really are affected by watching this video. It's called The Story of Stuff, and it's like 10 minutes. Sit down with them and watch it. Yeah, it'll help. If your kids are younger, teach them that the commercials are trying to trick them. It works. My son, he's 3. He's been knowing for a year now. Every time the commercials come on, he says, "Mama, they're trying to trick me. I don't need that toy." Good job, kid. Thank goodness.
That's awesome.
Okay, well, let's wrap that tragic story up and move on to essential oils. Nikki,
Yes.
I would like to know about essential oils. I'm glad that you're here.
Thank
And
you.
what can you tell us? What are essential oils?
Okay. Well, essential oils. Well, with Young Living, it's one of the. I of course use Young Living, but we've done a lot. My husband did a lot of research before he decided which company to go with, and Young Living just has the best quality, highest standards for their essential oils, and that's why he decided to use them. I was sick, and he was just looking for a way for me to help with pain, and I have a weak immune system, so he just wanted to help me kind of boost that and just, live as healthy as possible, and, with diet and everything else, of course. But, so yeah, he got into it for those reasons, and Young Living was the best he could find, so we just signed up and started using them, and they are awesome. They actually really do work. So you want me just to explain what essential oils are?
Yeah, for the viewers that aren't really sure, because there's a lot of stuff in the natural healing world that you hear the word or the words often, but you don't actually know what it is. Like, what's the difference between an essential oil and a fragrance oil?
Right.
There's major difference.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Essential oils are aromatic liquids that are extracted from plants through steam distillation. Steam distillation is a process used to separate the essential oils from the plant material. As the plant material is softened with water, the steam rises and that contains the actual oils, and that's the therapeutic grade oil, and that's what they gather for the oils that you buy in the therapeutic grade essential oils is that first distillation. Then
so they come from plants.
Right.
Okay.
Right, like lavender, okay. They actually have farms that they grow lavender, and the thieves oil that has the combination of different ones, different plants. That's just a combo of the oils that they just put together in a bottle. So yeah,
okay,
it's all from plants. And the cool thing about Young Living is Gary Young, he pretty much goes to all the places where he buys these farms to grow what he needs for the oils, and they use no pesticides, and no pesticides have been used on that land ever. Like, he will not use land to grow that has ever had anything farmed that has used pesticides or chemicals.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to use essential oils for more than just adding it to your lotion to make it smell good, then having organic and having high quality is really important.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to ask another question. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Well, that's one of the things that I kind of found interesting, that the essential oils, they just come from the plants, but some of the stuff that I saw, you'll never see like our mainstream healthcare workers pushing the essential oils. Do you think that that's because corporations can't make money off of it, or is it because there's something else behind that they're avoiding?
Honestly, it really has to do a lot with making money for medicinal, like the pharmaceutical companies and the doctors and stuff. If everybody went and just used essential oils, and I'm not saying that they would work for everybody because everybody's different, just like if you took a medicine, one person might be healed from it and another person might not. But if they pushed essential oils, they would lose quite a bit of money. So I think that's the biggest reason. I've even talked to my doctor about essential oils, and he keeps telling me, do what works for you, but then at the same time, he's not going to go and talk to his other patients about it. So.
And you know what's funny is they could even cite, you know, safety reasons or whatever, or it's not been tested to be able to say that it really does this or that. Although, honestly, the, like, native people learned it from watching animals when they had ailments, go to eat those certain plants. The tribal, you know, nature people that were in tune with nature would go and follow their lead, and then we've had information passed down from that. And so, yeah, they've been tested for, like, thousands of years, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But no, they'll give you a medication that just came out that hasn't been on the market for long enough to know if people are going to die or not. No problem.
Or have lots of side effects down the road, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, don't take this oil because there's a chance it might make you blah, blah, blah. But here, take this medicine that we just created out of laboratory, and then take these 5 more for all the other things that happen along the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I wish I had them when I was sick, but we just found it, so.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
So I read. Oh, go ahead.
Do we have a time lag going on, Jennifer?
I think so.
Okay. Well, all right then. So viewers watching, this is an online web show. I'm sitting on my bed right now. Totally sitting on my bed right now hosting a show. So we have some technical difficulties sometimes, but we're still here talking and having a great time. So excuse us now for that. Jennifer, go ahead with the question you have.
Well, what I was going to say is I came across an article that said there's like more than 101 uses for essential oils. And so what are some things that you could even use essential oils for, and how?
Okay, well, there's different, you can use them for inhalation, like with I have a diffuser that I add water to and then I add the oils to, and it has a disc in it that kind of releases it vibrates and it releases the oils in with the mist into the air, and you breathe it in, it goes into your lungs, and then it gets into your body through that. So I use that a lot. That's probably the most popular is inhalation. And then there's topical. You put it on your skin.
Nikki, let's stay on the inhalation for a moment, okay?
Okay.
My go-to anytime I have any kind of chest cold is I instantly go for either eucalyptus or tea tree, usually tea tree oil. I boil some water in a pot and then put a few drops in there with a towel over my head and breathe it in deep, and it seems to, like, kill all of the bacteria or germs in my lungs and just shake it up.
Yeah.
I love it. It's my go-to. It works every time. And it's because instead of taking a medicine into my body that goes through my entire blood system just to get to my lungs, this goes directly to my lungs. Like, boom. It's just right there. It's instant. And I love that. What I'm wondering is, what other kinds of oils can you use like that?
Most of them. I have a chart that they send you when you get the kit, and it kind of tells you which ones that for, like, topical or ingest, the ones you can ingest and the ones that you can inhale. Now, with what you said, where you put it in a pot of boiling water, that does take some of the properties away when you heat the oil up like that. And with the diffuser, it doesn't heat it up at all. It just, like I said, that little copper disc or whatever it is on the bottom, it just kind of pushes it into the air with the mist, so you actually get every bit of the oil into your lungs. So it's a little bit better to do it that way than to heat it. But if that's all you have, then it still, at least it works. It still gives you some of the benefits of the oil. You're just not getting quite as much.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Huh. And I imagine going into your lungs, it goes straight into your bloodstream. So that's a quick, effective way.
And you know what's funny is a lot of people don't realize that when you put it on your skin, it goes into your bloodstream within seconds. And when you think about that, you think of all of the things you touch, that the chemicals, the cleaners that you touch actually do the same thing. And that's the stuff that's not good for you. So, like, I clean with it, with the oils. I do everything with the oils. But, yeah.
Yeah, and those chemical products, when you put them on your skin, that isn't getting filtered through your liver like it would if you ate a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets right into your
I
bloodstream.
did see something on that you could use like lemon oil or grapefruit oil or eucalyptus oil for cleaning products.
In Thieves, they have actually you can use Thieves. The clove and all the other stuff that's in there is a disinfectant. Lemon, I use that to clean the floors, that kind of stuff. But what's funny is then at the same time, my husband will take a glass of water and add a couple drops of lemon and drink it, and that helps with digestion and heartburn and all that kind of stuff. So you can clean with it and you can ingest it, and
Huh.
So yeah.
Okay, let's go back. I interrupted you. So we discussed diffusing, and we talked a little bit about topical, but I don't know if you had more to say on that. But go back to the ways to use them, because that was interesting. We want to know.
On the topical, with topical, some of them have to be diluted and use a carrier oil and that kind of thing, especially with kids. Certain oils can be hot, and like Thieves is one of them. You have to. It's better to dilute them so that it doesn't, because it can burn the skin. So
You just reminded me of a time that I had cinnamon oil and thought to put it in my bath.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah, I've heard of people just putting it right in their bath water.
Yeah.
And not, yeah.
They ran around the house screaming for a good long while. That was, yeah, don't do that.
No.
But when it's properly diluted, when products are properly diluted, they are really then they're safe and effective and can be used. If diluted properly, they can be used for children, right?
Right. There's a few of the oils that, and they'll tell you to be careful with this with children, because it's just like eucalyptus and things of that nature. It can just kind of be a little bit, for children with their lungs not being developed, it can kind of be a little strong and can give them some trouble breathing. It's like a 3. I think, I'm pretty sure the leader in our team said that it's like 3%. It's very rare, but it can happen. So just to be on the safe side, it's good to dilute and to look up what oils are best to kind of keep away from children under 2 or under 1. Different ones.
Okay. Do you have any ideas of which ones those are?
Yes. Let me look at real quick. Some
While
of the
you're
essential.
looking,
Yeah. Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say.
No, go.
Basil, birch, clove. You've got to be, like with the Thieves, has clove in it. That's really good if you dilute it. It's okay. With kids, you want to dilute it more than you would with yourself.
Okay.
Pretty much. Let's see, lemongrass, myrtle, oregano, peppermint. And peppermint is okay, but like I said, diluting it. Tea tree is fine as long as it's diluted. Wintergreen and ylang ylang are other ones that you have to just be careful with. But yeah, those are the basic ones I can think of.
I saw an article that said, and so just kind of tell me what your thoughts are on this, that if you're under the age of 6, that you shouldn't use essential oils at all.
No, I don't agree with that.
And it was from a blog.
Yeah, certain people have their own views on it, but my sister-in-law, for instance, has a 1-year-old. She, from birth, has used certain oils, like she'll diffuse in the, for inhalation, lavender and things of that nature to help him sleep. And, if he's been sick, she'll run it with some Thieves in it or something. And as long as it's, like I said, diluted, or like if I put 5 drops in the diffuser for myself, I might put 1 for my child, just to make it a little bit more watered down, a little bit less strong, in his face. Yeah,
because their system is smaller.
Exactly.
Right.
That makes sense.
But I would definitely not be afraid to use them on kids and babies. You just have to be careful and just read up on it and know about the oils before you use them.
I suggest, I always have on hand, I have tea tree oil, eucalyptus oil, lavender, and orange oil, and either spearmint or peppermint, depending on my mood when I'm shopping. And those are really useful, like, constant companions. Chamomile is really great, too, for soothing. But I suggest for any of you out there that are interested in them to buy some. Like, just buy a starter kit. I think Young Living sells them, starter kits.
Yes.
Buy a starter kit and just get to know them, so that way it doesn't feel alien to you, because now, after many years of just having my essential oils on hand, like, it's just an everyday thing for me. I don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
But at first, if you don't know about it, then, and you don't know how it works for you, or what it feels like, what it smells like, proper dilution and things like that, you got to have it. You got to have it at home to work with it and get to know it.
That's why I loved the starter kit that we got. We got the premium one because it came with the diffuser and the essential oils kit. And it's like, if you bought all of it separate, it's like it's $250 to $300. But if you buy it through Young Living as their premium starter kit, I think it's $150, $160. And then you also get the discount from then on. As long as you spend $50 a year, you get the discount. If you don't do it as a business and you just want to do it for yourself. That's what, and so it's not that expensive. I mean, I guess $150 is a little high for some people, but for what you get for that money is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and the oils last a fairly long time depending on how you're using them, because you don't use it like you would use olive oil while you're cooking. You don't just pour it in there.
Right.
It's a matter of, some recipes are like 5 drops this, 10 drops that. Those are drops, and that's a strong one.
I think that the 5 milliliter bottles that you get have a little over 100 drops each bottle, and like for myself, I made sure I read through everything, and when you buy that kit, they send you all the information on every one of those oils that you got. So it tells you how to use them, different, which ones are better for topical or inhalation or ingestion and stuff like that. But like my sister Ruby, she got her kit and of course used double, triple what you were supposed to use or what it said you could use in your diffuser, and she went through her oils within 1 or 2 months, and mine lasted 6. So you just have to be careful, because you can accidentally overuse them and definitely go through them a little quicker than you.
Well, yeah. And also for $150, I've personally never used Young Living. I'm just speaking from the standpoint of essential oils in general and organic essential oils, which Young Living is that you are going to be using them for medicinal reasons. I made an olive oil with a little bit of coconut oil, oregano oil, very diluted oregano oil, with a few drops of garlic juice to rub on the soles of my son's feet when he was really sick, and he felt so much better the next day. I did that for 2 nights and he was fine. So you're going to be using them for medicinal reasons. So you're not okay. So that's going to be like your medicine budget. You're going to be using them for your skincare because they work so effectively. And you're going to be using them for cleaning your house, and you're going to be using them for smelling good. Like I always smell like lavender. So that's like $150. Really isn't that much.
Right.
That's true.
About what did I just say about using it for medicine, using it for cleaning, using it for skincare? Let me share this real quick. So I used to work for, I don't know if I'm allowed to say companies. I worked for a major skincare line in college, cosmetic line. I didn't, whatever. Anyway, I worked for them, and they are mostly natural and use a lot of plants, essential oils. That was the only way I could work in the retail world, is if it was something I understood and believed in. And something that I learned there way back in the day when I was in college is the molecular structure of the plants is very similar to our own body. So it takes very little. Like if you have an oil with essential oils in it that you're using as a moisturizer, you only have to put a little on your hand, rub your hands and then just press it on your skin, because those oils are so easily absorbed. It doesn't take nearly as much of that natural product as it will of some expensive moisturizer you're buying. Because those plants are so similar to your body, the way that they're built, that your body just instantly processes them. And that's good stuff. It goes
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm done.
Oh, I was going to say, last week I was doing something at school where a kid dropped a can, like this big, heavy can of beans or something, on my toe, and I was wearing flip-flops.
Oh!
I swear I thought it was broken. It had, like, the line and everything. And one of my parents came in, and she was like, oh, look at your toe. Here, use this. And she pulled out a little case of something with a little bottle. I think it was, like, peppermint oil or spearmint oil. And she said, here, put this. And I like maybe 2 little dabs of it, and I put it on my toe, and it really did make it stop hurting, like instantly. Really strange.
Yeah, peppermint has a cooling effect, so it kind of like gives you that it just feels better. Yeah.
I wonder if it would also help with bruising, because I think it's like it stimulates your.
Lavender's good for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were at church. And a kid hit his head, and the mom, I forgot my oils that day. I always have them with me, and she came up and said, do you have, because she is an oil person too, and do you have lavender with you? He's going to have a bruise. And so I didn't, but she found someone else that did. And yeah, so you can use it for bumps and bruises and stuff like that.
Well, that's
it totally worked. That's crazy. So is there any way, like, somebody said something about a carrier oil or mixing it with another oil. Where do you find those? Or do you use certain types of oils to mix them?
Well, I just buy the organic olive oil at the store, or also organic coconut oil or fractionated coconut oil. Like she was Alexis, is that her name?
Yes.
Sorry. She was talking about putting it on the bottoms of her kids' feet. I take 200 drops of olive oil along with 15 drops of oregano and 20 drops of thieves, and that will last me 3 months. And I just, in a roller bottle, put it on my feet and on my wrists, so that dilutes it enough that it doesn't burn, or, that's the carrier oil, is the olive oil. And I do smell like, an Italian restaurant. I was told, who is that smells like a pizza? And I'm like, oh, it's me. It's just my oils.
But you're not sneezing,
Exactly. And I was in a big room of people, and with my immune system, I just throw it on. And she didn't believe me. She's like, no, it's not you. And I said, no, it's fine. I'm not embarrassed. It's me. So she smelt my wrist, and she's like, oh my gosh, it is you. I'm sorry. I'm like, don't be sorry. It's fine. I would rather smell like a pizza. That's not a bad thing to smell like. So. Anyways, yeah, the carrier oils just help dilute, the oils that might be hot, and it also helps make them last longer, because you're not using the straight oil, so you can just dilute it when you're using it on your skin and that kind of thing.
Massage oils like jojoba oil, I've heard being used too, and like almond oil. I personally use coconut oil because I use it for everything.
I love coconut oil.
Can you
reminds me of the beach?
Yeah.
Nikki, can you tell me a little bit? I am so knowledgeable about natural healing, and I know quite a bit about essential oils. Well, not really. I know a lot about plants. I know a bit about essential oils. But can you please tell me about thieves oil? Because that's something I really, really want to know more about.
Yes.
My background knowing on this is that I heard that it's called this because back during the bubonic plague. I can never say that right, but
yeah.
Then that thieves were putting it on their lip to keep from having to smell the dead bodies, and it was making them not get ill from it. So they were able to go like loot and rob dead people from the plague.
That's exactly it. That's exactly why they call it that.
They
would actually, some of them would just douse themselves in it, or just put it where, like you said, under their noses where they would breathe. And it would keep them from getting sick, so they could go and just rob the dead.
Like, that's the plague, people. Okay, could thieves oil possibly be I'm very much aware of vaccination things right now, and like when Ebola scare was coming out and this Ebola vaccine, I'm like, there are plants for that. But man, thieves oil like trumped the plague, you guys. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
supposedly. That's
Yeah,
pretty.
it's a pretty awesome oil. It's one of my favorites. So
Okay, I interrupt because I'm passionate. Tell me more. I'm sorry to interrupt.
no, that's okay. It's what's in it is clove, lemon, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus, and rosemary, and just it like you can use it for antiviral, antibiotic, sore throat, antifungal, fever, blisters, toothaches. I mean, the list goes on. You can use it for so many things, but like we use it for just like when anybody gets the cold. I use it every night, but then if I do happen to come down with something, I'll use it 2 or 3 times a day.
Huh.
And I'm not really supposed to say what it cures because after that stuff happened with the Ebola scare and all that stuff, people were claiming that the essential oils could cure this or that, and pretty much the FDA said, you're not allowed to say it will do this or that. They got mad. So they kind
Yeah.
of shut
But
that down.
You can say what it does for you. You can tell everybody,
Yeah, exactly.
this
Yeah.
happened for me, and that's more powerful anyway.
Yeah.
So what does it do for you? Oh,
For me?
you already told us. Yeah, it keeps you.
Yeah.
Now, okay, does thieves oil smell like pizza?
No, that's the oregano. The thieves is like the clove. You smell that real strong clovey smell.
Oh, that's Christmas.
Yeah, it smells
So
good.
you smell like
I
a
like
pumpkin pie.
it. With the cinnamon and the lemon and the clove, yeah.
You know, I just remembered some goofy article I read like 15 years ago about how it was something on the cover of Cosmo at the grocery store or something like that, saying that men love the smell of pumpkin pie to buy pumpkin pie candles around your place for date night. So maybe thieves oil is what you need.
Yeah, you can
There we
definitely,
go.
people use the oils for perfume, so.
I do. I love it. It's quick and
Now take your mouth out.
to put on. Yeah, right? So thieves oil, you're healthy and like you can pick up honeys. Well, there you go.
Smell like a pumpkin pie. I love to eat.
All right. Well,
God.
Nikki, thank you so much for coming on the show and talking with us about essential oils. So you're a distributor for Young Living. How can we get in touch with you to get them?
Well, we're working on our website right now.
Okay.
I can give my information to Jennifer, and she can maybe list it. But my husband's almost done with it. We should be done with it this week. So
Okay.
I've kind of been writing in to get that done.
Okay, viewers,
So, yeah.
so be looking out for some information on that. We'll post it on our Modern Mommies Facebook group board page. Hey, if you're not part of the Modern Mommies group, go there and you will see posts of the blogs as they happen and clips of the videos and you'll also I want to mention you'll see ads and some what's the word I'm looking for? Specials for Christopher Witecki.
Yes.
He's not on right now, but Christopher Witecki, when I call him the Wizard of Soul Garden, if you are not familiar with his work, he calls himself the stand-up astrologer, and I think now it's Serious Joy is what he's created. So he is the sensei to Serious Joy. And the thing about Christopher is he is a brilliant astrologer. Oh my goodness, brilliant. He's not just a brilliant astrologer, and I met him because of this and became friends with him because I was like, man, you know what you're talking about. He's also just this gifted, intuitive. Did I say that right? Anyway, he just knows, and he's really, really great at walking you through anything you've got going on. So, so get on the Modern Mommies Facebook page, and you'll see specials when he has them for his readings that he does. But also, he's got Megascopes that just came out, so you're going to see some posts from him on that because they just came out. The Megascope is a rundown of is it 4 weeks or 6 weeks?
Well, it's the 4 weeks. It's the whole month of. You can get your sun sign and your rising sign, And so when you get the two of them together, it really paints a beautiful picture of what your month's going to look like.
Yeah, he's
for
got
better or for worse.
Entertaining graphics, and he just talks to you about what to expect going on in your world, and helps prepare you ahead of time. And you can mark things down on your calendar and have your month mapped out. So anyway, that's going on right now, and I believe they are. What's the price for that Megascope?
$9.99.
$9.99. So this is an unprompted commercial happening right now. That's why I'm stumbling over my words. But since he's not here and the Megascopes just came out, I just wanted to tell you about it. And he really is truly.
And give them as a gift.
Oh, that would be.
You can even give them as a gift.
Holiday
for Christmas.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
So speaking of gifts, last week we talked about how to make your own gifts for your kids. I want to show you that I just got started on. We talked about the memory game, and I just got started on mine for my toddler. I bought these little wooden discs. I haven't finished them yet. I'm going to paint them on the back and put shapes, and it's a matching game, and he's going to lose it. He's going to love it. Put him in a cute little baggie. I made him his stocking with a $3 stocking and some puff paint, and it cost me almost nothing. And the reason why is because he just had a temper tantrum at the store for a toy for the first time ever. And he threw his body and started screaming. And I had to scoop him up and run to the car and figure out what I was going to do about this. And that's not going to happen again, damn it. Right. So I'm
only laughing because it happened.
I know it's going to happen again, but I want it to.
They're just practicing boundaries.
Oh, man. He practiced all the way home very loudly. My kid is a brilliant rationalizer, and he explained to me that he needed those alligator toys because his alligator at home was lonely and needed someone to talk to. So I'm taking it out not just on him, but on his alligator. Right. So,
his alligator should disappear, and you should tell him that he went to go find his alligator buddies.
Oh God, I'm gonna share like a parenting moment gone wrong real quick. He has a box that came from his grandparents, from his dad's parents, and it's just an unmarked brown, packing or shipping box, and he's been staring at it for 2 days. And yesterday he looked at me very seriously. Where's my toolbox? So he got his toolbox. He proceeds to use his screwdriver, his hammer, his saw, his plastic fireman hatchet to try to bust this box open. And finally I realized the kid's not going to stop till he's destroyed this box. So I told him, I said, you know what will work? Rather than him thinking to go get like a butter knife or something, because he knows where they are. And he was determined. I said, I bet your battle axe will work. His plastic battle axe. So as he goes to get his battle axe with seriousness, like, I took the box and hit it really fast. And then he came back and he goes, oh, where is it? And I said, oh, I don't know. I said, it must be Christmas magic. Christmas magic doesn't want you to break your presents until, you open them on Christmas. So he's staring at the chimney and staring at me. And just when I think he's like, whoa, Christmas magic, he lost it and busted out crying. I tried to get his dad involved. His dad, had him talk to him, and his dad was like, yeah, it's in my car. I don't know how it got here. It's Christmas magic. It didn't work. It didn't really work. He cried for hours, and I had to make the box magically appear again. But it's up high, and now he's just only looking at it. But so Christmas magic is what I'm using right now as a parenting strategy, and I will let you know if I am successful in that at some point. It didn't exactly work out for me.
He's gonna think Christmas magic sucks and steals his toys.
That's what. Okay. So he looked at me so sad, and he goes, "Santa took my present." I was like, "Oh crap!" Crap. Look, I don't know what I'm doing. I've got a lot of experience. I went to college for child development. I have taught 2-year-olds forever and ever. I started my own children's project program for self-awareness, but now that I have my own, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. So that's okay.
Isn't it amazing how we're always an expert before we have kids, and then when you have kids, you're like, oh shit. It all changes.
Not a clue. You should have seen me in the parking lot with him crying over that alligator. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. No. So moving on, speaking of kids having a tantrum in the car, Jennifer, I believe you have prepared some really great, a really great show and tell for things you can do, things you can make to keep your kids active and entertained in the car for road trips, which is really great coming up for Christmas and all the different holiday traveling going on. What do you have for us?
Yes, nothing can make a road trip suck worse than kids fighting the entire time. So I went and found a couple of really cool things to keep them busy. So that first...
I just had a flashback to driving back from Galveston Beach with my brother and my mom. My brother and I were fighting in the back seat over some stupid, like, rinky-dink little plastic, the mat... puzzle games where you would slide and move the picture until you make a picture. It was like some piece of crap over it. Without even looking at it, she just reached in the back of the car and threw it out the window and just kept driving. And I was like, oh. I remember.
I did that once. My kid had a claw, one of those claw hands. Yeah, and he kept doing that, screaming over, and I just reached back there and there it went down the Bush Freeway somewhere. It was not that important to listen to the screaming.
Because my mom's very anti-littering. She taught me not to litter, so that was a big deal. We were losing our mind. Okay, what do you got?
Okay, here we go. First thing I found, and this is all free. I try to do free stuff, and I was really busy, and I'm busy at Christmas time, so I tried to find things that could be done really quick and not tons and tons of preparation time, because lots of times we don't have that.
Oh, cool.
First thing that I found, this was so cool. This is a downloadable packet that you can just download and print them all off. And it's called our Road Trip Binder. And it's filled with tons of games like Road Trip Bingo. And it's got different bingo cards. There's this great number race, and I don't know if you can see that, but each time you see the number, you get to move along, and whoever sees the number and gets to the finish fastest wins. There's an I Spy game in there, so as they're driving down the road, they can find these things. And then there are story starters. So if, because the whole time you may not want them to be totally in silence, and so there are story starters and things like that where you can interact with your kids too. There's something for graphing, and this is at, and we'll put it in the Modern Mommies page, but it's at Play-Doh-to-Play-Toh.com, and it's called the Road Trip Binder. I'll put the link to it in Modern Mommies, so then that way y'all can just pull it up and print it out.
Cool.
And it was super cool. I mean, just something, and this was for really great younger kids up to grade school would do it, and I think that they would have a good time with it. And so that's the first thing I found. Next one that I found, this is for older kids, but when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? This is greatness. You take a metal cookie sheet. You needed like markers, scissors, and magnets. You know the roll of magnets that just cut that you can get at Walmart for like $2 maybe.
Yeah.
Then you go to Google and you print off these pictures, and this is all on the site. We'll put the link on there again. Of the Sorry game or Monopoly or Yahtzee or Candyland, any game that your kids like. You can laminate it if you want to, because as a teacher, that'll make it last longer, but that's kind of up to you. And so as you're playing, as you're driving, you can use the magnets to hold down the game onto that cookie tent or that cookie sheet. And then it will catch your dice when you're rolling the dice for Yahtzee. You can use little magnet markers to play Chutes and Ladders. You can use Connect 4 for and use little magnets to play those games. There's Monopoly.
Wow,
and all of those things can be, and you can just use little rubber bands to keep all of the pieces together with a little Ziploc baggie, and then it all stores right there in like the cookie sheet, and it keeps it all contained so you're not chasing the ice and everything else.
Well, that's a really good
And
idea. Hey,
yeah, I love that one.
we have seriously run out of time on this show today. So what do you have one more really good one you want to share, and then we'll move on to the Hot Daddy? But these are really great. I hate cutting them short. These are some really great ideas here.
There are tons and tons, so we'll put the links so then that way you'll find them.
Send me the links. And
the last thing, and I'll go quick.
I'll post.
Okay, that sounds good.
Oh, look at that.
The very last one I have in puzzles can go for any age. Yeah, you just get those magnets, cut them in little pieces, put them on the back of the puzzle pieces, get your cookie sheet, and they can put the puzzle together right there on the cookie sheet.
Well, that is such a great idea.
And so, yeah.
Okay, quick, one more real quick.
Super easy.
Show me another one.
Well, no, we'll go on because we want to have time for our Hot Daddy. I don't want to miss him.
Okay. All right. So, without further ado, I'll just use my phrase.
Drum roll.
Okay. Show us our picture of our Hot Daddy.
Okay. Our Hot Daddy. Woo, this is a Hot Daddy. What is this Hot Daddy's name?
Hey, Modern Mommie's Hot Daddy of this week is Greg Symington. So Rachel sent in and nominated Greg, and as you can see, he is a baby-wearing daddy, which is so hot all the time. It's so hot. We love it. Love it. So, so what?
Yeah, the way he's kissing his baby.
And that, we did not have our show on baby wearing last week, but this is one of the prime reasons why baby wearing is so great, is because you can just lean over. They're right there smelling your breath. All of those animalistic things that babies need when they're born to adjust to the world. I mean, look at how natural that is right there. I love it. I love seeing Daddy's baby wearing with that skin contact he's doing. Good job, Daddy. So what Rachel says is that Greg is an amazing father who has been very involved from day one. She says on his paternity leave, she didn't have to change a single diaper. Seriously? Is this 2 mommies in a row? What? Last week.
How?
Hey. All right. I'm feeling jealous. So she didn't have to change a single diaper. He's all for attachment parenting and supports the breastfeeding journey so well. He wears her all the time and is more than comfortable to watch her for extended periods of time while she gets some well-deserved alone time. She says he takes care of me and his baby girl so well. So for that, Greg Symington, we say, well done, sir. We salute you as Modern Mommie's Hot Daddy. And with that, everybody, that wraps up our show. We have had a great time here on Modern Mommies. We'll be back every week at, let's say, 6:30. 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern seems to be the time that we make it happen every week, and that's on Wednesdays. Of course, you can catch us on the Soul Garden YouTube channel anytime to find past videos, and share them with your friends too, please. Find us on Facebook, the Modern Mommies group. It's a closed group, so send us a nudge and we'll add you on there. And we've also got a mailing list that you can get to from our Facebook page or from soulgarden.tv. You can find the Modern Mommies blog there as well, soulgarden.tv. And you can find all kinds of awesome stuff from Christopher Witecki, the wizard himself, there as well. Let's see, am I missing another announcement? I don't know that.
Check out the Megascopes.
Megascopes. All right. All right. Well, that about wraps it up. Nikki Young, thank you so much for joining us this week. That was so helpful.
Thank you.
We'll be sharing the information for your website when we get it. Jennifer, as always, great hanging out with you. Good to see you. Yeah, I always have fun hanging out with you. It's like a mandatory hangout, and I'm glad. And all right, until next week, mommies out there, live, love, be.